opportunity to speak tonight. I want to start out by letting you know that I'm a Riverside success story. I graduated from Riverside in 1982 and leveraged my high school education to get a BS in chemistry from Miami University in Ohio, and later for an MBA from Case. My story started at Riverside, where I had some great teachers, particularly in chemistry and history, and I want to ensure that there continues to be more Riverside success stories today and into the future. I think the most important quality I offer is leadership. I have over 25 years combined leadership experience, both as a technology project manager for the Department of Defense and as an officer in the Navy Reserve. Throughout my career, I've repeatedly been in situations where I've had to work with diverse groups of stakeholders and gotten them to combine efforts to successfully get to a common goal. I did this by talking to and understanding what each stakeholder valued, and then I identified common ground that allowed us to achieve the common goal. I think this leadership skill is going to be critical to have on the next board. Rounding out my background, while I was in the Navy Reserve, I did a 10-month tour in Iraq, and I'm also involved in the community as a board member for the Salvation Army, and I'm active with the Boy Scouts. Additionally, I'm married, and I have 2 children who attend Riverside schools. As for why I'm running, the board needs strong principled leadership, and that's what I believe I bring to the table. If elected, I'll collaborate with all district stakeholders to develop a holistic vision and strategic plan. The plan will acknowledge the financial reality we face and act to balance the need to serve the students and the community with the need to maintain a fiscally sound district. You obviously have many choices for school board, but I want to take the next minute and say that you need to make me a member of that next school board. It's clear that between funding challenges, increased educational alternatives, and potential legislation that allows money to flow to individual students, that public education is currently in huge flux. Right now, if Issue 6 fails, the going consensus is that we need to cut extracurriculars, activities, cut the number of credits offered, cut staff, and possibly close an elementary school. In other words, the going consensus is that we need to make cuts that I believe will drive more parents away from the district. In my opinion, these are the last things we need to pursue. We need to think creatively about how to balance the budget while still meeting our obligation to fully educate our kids. If you believe it's important to give parents a reason to continue sending their kids to Riverside, regardless of the fiscal environment, then you need to put me on the board. In closing, I want to say that although I do not agree with all the decisions that the current board has made, I do want to say that I do not question their intentions, nor do I question their desire to do what they thought was best for the district. Again, thank you very much, and I ask for your vote on November 8th.
Thank you so much for coming out. I wanted to start off first, just in case anybody out there is aspiring to be on a board, school board at some point in time. Pick this up at the election board, and it's basically invitation to new school board members of how to, what to go for training and whatnot. And I just thought I would read that the eligibility requirements. It says we have to be a United States citizen, at least 18 years old, a resident of the state for at least 30 days preceding the election. A resident of the school district for at least 30 days preceding the election. Registered to vote in the school district for at least 30 days. So just so you all know, we've got wonderful candidates here, but we don't all have to have some of those wonderful backgrounds and professional abilities. I've been married for 35 years to my childhood sweetheart, very happily married. I've lived in Painesville Township now for 12 years. Been a homeowner. I know that we want our schools to be great because our home values, are reflected in that. At the same time, it's sometimes difficult during recession times especially to have levies coming and you're saying, oh my gosh, I can hardly, buy my food and put gas in my car. So that has been an issue, as everybody knows. I am generally a no new tax type of person, especially during a recession. I did go to a school board meeting and I listened to Mike Rock do a wonderful layout of the school situation. And there really is no doubt that the school is struggling and that we do need funds. I'm concerned that the levy might not pass. And so I really think that we are going to be spending a whole lot of time on how to bring in new funds to the school. I think that that would be my main goal, is how to open up new revenue gates to the school. And I think there's so many new ways. I spoke with a woman that her sister lived in California, and they have figured out ways so that their busing has dedicated funding for their busing. It's no longer even considered a levy issue. So I will be talking to different cities, different states that have already gone through these kinds of situations, find out how they have done those creative things that have enabled the school to bring in a lot more money. That is our main focus right now, is bringing in more money. Now, I do have a lot of different ideas, creative fundraising opportunities. I'm assuming I'm going to be involved in a lot of those. For instance, giving online. I have people that told me that they would be more than happy to give that $180 right now, or they just didn't want it on their home mortgages. So I would like for you to consider voting for me. I have a flyer in the back that would be able to better explain how I feel, what I would like to do as a school board member, and I hope that you'll avail yourself to that. Thank you so much.
Just so you know, my name is Doris Moss, and I'm running for the school board again after serving on the district for 16 years. I didn't run 2 years ago, and I felt I could no longer sit on the sidelines and watch what was happening to our district. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I have 3+ years of college at Lake Erie College right here, and my majoring in education, finance, and economics. And although I don't have a formal degree, I'm very proud to say I believe I have a degree in common sense. I currently work in management at Citizens Bank in Mentor, and I've held positions of public trust all my life, from education to government to the school board for 16 years, and now in the banking industry. I was watching what was happening to our district, and like I said, I couldn't sit on the sidelines any longer. Our district was struggling, not academically because we're an excellent district, but fiscally. The financial decisions the board had to make, and they did have to make them, were breaking my heart. Because I knew at some point it would affect the education of our children. Some of the financial decisions that the district makes, they can control. But others, like unfunded mandates and budget cuts from the state, they can't. So we need to find some more creative ways to fund our schools, either through applying for more grants at the national, state, or local level, networking with our businesses, collaborating and sharing resources with other districts. The Riverside Local District is not the only district having financial trouble. Everybody's going to have trouble. We're just feeling the crunch first. So doesn't it make sense for the districts to band together to help each other out? I'd also like to see us do a line-by-line analysis of the budget to see if there's any places where we can save money. And I'd also like to say I think we need to pay it forward. Somebody paid for my education, somebody paid for my kids' education, and I'm willing to pay for someone else's education. I believe that my involvement in the community through Little League, Scouting, Clothe a Child, the Painesville Exchange Club, Concord Community Days, as well as my job at the bank and my involvement with the public gives me access to many people and an opportunity to educate them as well. I feel I'm very easy to talk to. I feel that people have come to me knowing that I would protect their confidence. I feel I'm a great liaison to the population that does not have children in the district, which is 70% of the people out there, and I'm one of them. And at the end of the day, for 16 years, I asked myself, did I do what was right for kids in this district? And I can say yes. When you return me to the board, I can promise you that I will continue to do what's right for the kids in this district.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight, taking time out of your schedules to get educated on all the candidates tonight. I'd also like to thank Lisa and Jennifer and the League of Women Voters for giving us a nice forum tonight to talk to everybody. My name's Tom Flenner. I live in Concord with my wife. I have 3 boys. My son Jack's 5. He'll be going to Melridge next year. And I have 2 twin boys that are 3. So being on the school board gives me a good opportunity to be out a couple nights a week, to kind of, my wife's here and this is on tape, so I better be careful. But, I graduated from Perry High School. I went to Grove City College in Pennsylvania. I graduated with a BS degree in financial management. I'm a longtime banker. I started out in a small community bank in Mentor and moved to a large regional bank downtown and did a lot of small business lending. When I went downtown, I did a lot of large commercial real estate lending. So I'm very familiar with financial statements, businesses, analyzing financial statements. After that, we started up a title company about 9 years ago now. I think there's about a third of the title companies left than there were about 3 years ago. So that industry has been hit, anything in real estate, just like a school, has been devastated over the years with everything going on in the economy. We've managed to stay alive because we do what's necessary to stay in business. And I'm very business-oriented, but I'm very pro-school. When I went to Perry, you did everything, football, basketball, tennis, band, whatever it was. And it's important for kids to have access to all that. That's why it's important that we pass the levy. It's important that we, everybody gathers to get that done for the community. Why I'm running for school board? Basically, my son's going to Melridge next year. I started getting involved, going to the board meetings. I saw how the district had a lot of issues, a lot of dissent, a lot of animosity about the levy. And I thought that's a good time to get involved. It's easy to get involved when times are good, but when times are looking dark, it's even a better time to get involved. So everybody asks, why are you doing that? But that's just my take on it. And one thing I'd like to see, with the district done differently is I'd like to improve the communication. I think it's gotten better. I think we need to continue the communication with the community and any of the bad perceptions that the board has had with any groups in the community and administration. I think that's something we can improve on. And I think that's it. I just look forward to your vote come November 8th. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and good evening. A little bit of background about myself. I've been involved with the community for the last 7 years. I moved here 7 years ago from Mentor into Concord. One of the main reasons my wife and I chose to move over here was the excellent school system that was provided to the children of this community. I have 2 daughters. My daughters are both out of the house. We're empty nesters now. I've got the youngest one is in college, and my oldest daughter graduated from Bowling Green State University, where I met my wife, and my other daughter is at now. So I understand the importance of an education. My wife is in education. Both of my daughters are in education. I grew up, my father was an educator as well. Myself, I've never got into education, but got into sales directly out of college. I started out in sales, and then I moved into management. I've been in management now for the past 13 years of my career with a company called Panduit. I'm responsible for 8 states, 4 district sales managers, and 35 salespeople that work underneath me. I have responsibility for $120 million in sales. I understand the importance, obviously, of running a well-run business and having a good plan in place. And then obviously you need to have the right people in place to help execute the plan that you put in place. So I think it's important to have the right people on the bus to lead our school community into the future. I think the community is a very important part of the foundation to drive what we're trying to drive here this evening. The school system, I think everybody knows, is a fundamental part of a strong community. And unfortunately, if we're not able to pass issue 6, and I do believe that we're gaining momentum because I think people are educating themselves on the issues that are real, that are out there facing our school system and facing our community. If we're unfortunate and not able to do this, it's going to be a very daunting task moving forward. And we're going to need somebody that's willing to sit on the board and work collaboratively with all the different groups. And there are going to be diverse groups that are with a lot of different interests in what they're trying to accomplish. I have no hidden agenda. Like I said, I no longer have kids in the school system, but I live in this community and I want to make sure that this community remains strong. Why am I running? I've never been involved with politics before. I think it's an opportunity. With this challenge that's facing us now is to get involved in the community. I want to do that. That's why I put myself out here and said, okay, let's run for this thing and see if we can make a difference. I want to bring accountability back to what we're trying to do. I think we need to make sure that we improve with the communications with the community. I know some of the things that I've heard over the last several months as I've been talking to a lot of people when we talked about issue 6 is they didn't feel they were communicated with the first time around, the second, over the last few years, so we want to make sure we improve that communication. I think it's very important that we work very diligently together, collaboratively, with all the diverse groups of people that are out there to serve the best interests of our children. That's what this thing is really about. So I appreciate your opportunity to talk to you this evening. I appreciate that you guys are willing to come out this evening and try to educate yourself on the candidates. I appreciate my fellow candidates for running, and I would appreciate your vote on November 8th. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that everyone is here this evening too. And we've been asked to talk a little bit about our background and professional experience, and I have a paper in the back that will help you to understand a little bit about my involvement in the school district. I've lived here for 18 years, and I have worked on behalf of the schools for 18 years. Most recently, I've spent 8 years serving you as a board member. Many of those years I have served as an officer of the board. It has been a daunting task, but it has been such an honor and a privilege. And one of the things we've been asked to share with you this evening is why we're running for the school board. And I would ask you to look around the room, and I would tell you that that is why I'm running for the school board. A lot of folks have asked me, why aren't you running away from the school board? And that's just not the right thing to do. When I look at the people in this room and I see how hard you work to raise your families, to teach in our classrooms, when I see how hard as a community we really do work together, I'm amazed every time we come together. We've accomplished some amazing things, and we have a lot more to accomplish. And every time this district is faced with a tough challenge, we rise to the occasion. We built a field house. We have a new stadium. We've put a permanent improvement levy in place. Those are all things that our community has said, these are important to us. We want structure. We want to be able to have a plan, and we want to be able to see those things through. So my professional experience, I've worked in the financial industry for over a decade. I work in management at one of the largest insurance companies in our country. I have a lot of opportunity to collaborate, to work with people, to build consensus, and try to find those win-win situations. School management is not easy. It is not. It's a lot of work, and there are a lot of moving pieces. And as a board member, one of the things that has been the biggest learning for me is that complexity. It has also been to see what the restrictions are, but what the permissions are. So I will agree with Mr. Weiberg. We still have a lot of opportunities ahead of us. And one of the other reasons that I'm really running for the board, and one of the things that I really want to see us engage in, is fulfilling the strategic plan that this community put together. I really believe that the culture of excellence that we're trying to cultivate is what's going to lead us into the future, and that ongoing commitment and service as we raise expectations. We have never failed to meet those expectations as a community, and my commitment would be to continue to serve alongside you, to lead you as we pass issue 6 and as we move forward for the future of our children, but also for the future of our families and our community. Thank you very much.
All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kevin Wire. This is my first foray into any kind of political activity at all. I moved to Concord 5 years ago. I grew up my entire life in Pennsylvania, where we all know that the way we fund schools is completely different than what we do here. So hopefully I can bring some of that to the table. I have 4 kids presently, and I'm happily married. I have 3 kids at Melridge and 1 to follow very soon. I graduated from Edinburgh University in '95 with a major in history and a minor in psychology. Am I killing you with this microphone? I came to Cleveland for Dick's Sporting Goods 15 years ago. I don't think that's going to work. Can everybody hear me? Yeah. I'm easy to talk about. I worked for Dick's Sporting Goods for 15 years. I had the luxury of taking a new career option for myself and my family. I am presently looking at schools to go into a law degree. And with my time off right now, I spent a lot of time giving back to the community where I never had the opportunity to do that before. With Dick's Sporting Goods, I was a retail manager. I've managed budgets as high as $15 million. I helped create those budgets. I managed those budgets. I saw them through to fruition. The company has been very successful. When I started, we had 15 stores. Now we have something along the lines of 435 stores. I was one of the first players to ever take over another store when we purchased the Galleons Company. I was also integral in the takeover of Golf Galaxy. I have managed as many as 100 employees at one time. And I have extensive experience in developing and rating employee performance. Issue 2 will probably fail this year, but pay for performance is coming very soon for public employees. I have experience to develop those criteria to rate teachers and public staff in our buildings. I would love to be able to put those things together for you. My view of the district, as we look at it right now, we're worried about what we can't do. We're not worried about what we can do. We are a long way from giving our children the education that they really deserve. We have some fabulous things above high school and grade school, Auburn, and what we're doing out at Lakeland, but we do not invest our time and money in our elementary education and high school education. There's a lot we can do with technology. I think we really need to revisit our buildings that are very old and becoming in bad shape. They're not being taken care of very well. So I see that as a huge opportunity for the school. The other thing is the school needs to be a part of the community. Right now it isn't, and that's why levies haven't passed. So if anything I ask for you guys today, issue 6 is extremely important. Please do your best to tell your neighbors that this has to happen for us. Thank you for your time.